Today I'm going to show you something that you could do for Father's Day. It's very simple. I've kept it simple so that it's easy to make. First is to break an egg and beat up both the egg yolk and the egg white in a small bowl. You can whisk it with a fork so that basically you actually blend it together so that this is what you call the egg wash and will make your cream puff or your puff actually shiny and very nice looking. Now these are the skin for the puff pastry which I purchased, and well, I've actually let it cool down a bit, and now I'm going to put in the tuna filling on the puff skin. So don't overfill it because you have to seal the puff, and otherwise your tuna may actually be coming out of the sides. So just put sufficient enough to fill it so that you can then fold it over and press the sides and seal the sides so that the tuna will not come out of the puff. Just gently press, it actually will blend in very nicely and you don't have to worry that it will spill out. Now I use a fork to do a little bit of the trimming and the aging, and it also helps to seal the tuna in the puff. So this is how I use the fork to actually do a little bit of pattern, which you can see. You can press it a bit so that you can get an impression on the puff. Okay, that's just one very nice and fast to do. Then you use a little of the egg wash and you lightly bathe the puff pastry with the egg white, and this will actually make it very nice and shiny when you cook it in the air fryer. So I'm going to put this in the air fryer slowly, gently. Now when you try and thaw the puff pastry skin, don't let it thaw out too much, otherwise it will become too soft. So you can just take it out and then you can use the puff pastry from the freezer. Okay, now putting it into the air fryer, the first one, and I'm going to do a second one same way with a bit of tuna filling inside. Don't overdo too much or it will come out from the sides and you can't do a proper sealing and a very nice tuna puff. This is ideal for Father's Day if you want to do something for your father, because it's easy to do and it's easy to cook and it tastes delicious. Some people do use other ingredients like shallots to mix with it, or you can put some spices or herbs if you prefer the blend of smell. It really depends on you. And you can also use a bit of lime juice if you prefer a bit of more sour taste. Really very much your own preference and how your family likes it. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to press with the fork and have a little bit of design on the puff pastry, at the same time sealing in the tuna. Okay, my second one is done. See how fast that was? Now my third one. Same thing as before. Put a little bit of tuna. Don't overfill, don't overpack. And for your air fryer box, please do make sure that you line it with aluminium foil and spray a bit of oil. You can spray it with your own spray instead of those canned spray. Use canola oil or even corn oil, which is good because it has a higher degree of burning point, which is above 400 degrees. Don't use those like the extra virgin olive oil because those have a lower burning temperature, so the oil may burn and have some smoke coming out before you can even cook your pastry. So please use those like canola oil or peanut oil. Those have a higher degree of burning point and they are a bit more healthy for yourself too. So there I'm putting in the egg wash again. It gives that pastry that shining look when you have baked it, which really looks nice. I like that. And I like this pastry, puff pastry skin, because it really is puffy when you bake it. It's very nice. I do enjoy the look of it and also the taste of it. My last puff pastry. Of course, you can do more that you can for your family or for Father's Day. You can make more, but it really depends on the portion. For the tuna, you can buy the canned tuna, so you can actually use it. The one I bought has mayonnaise in it, so there's a bit of taste in it, so it's pretty nice. So there we go. Sorry, that's the last one of my pastries. And I've still got a little bit of tuna, and if you have extra tuna, you can always make a sandwich with it. That will be an additional bonus for your Father's Day. I'm folding it, sealing it same way as I do, and also going to use a fork to just do a design. And the wonderful thing about a fork when you press it against the sides is that it kind of provides a seal also for the pastry skin, so it seals in the tuna quite nicely. There you go. See, it's simple. It's not really that difficult as you may think it is. How do they do the lines on the puff pastry? And the egg wash again with a little brush. Egg wash should be useful because you can use it a few times when you are cooking, so that it gives you a nice shining look to the puff pastry. Okay, now I think I'm ready to put the last piece in to the air fryer. Don't let the puff pastry skin thaw too much, or else it will become too soft and then it will be hard to manage. Okay, there you have 4 of them inside, and I put in the aluminum foil. I've also sprayed a bit of oil before that so that it avoids it sticking your puff pastry to your aluminum foil or to your basket if you are not using aluminum foil. So this is the spray that I bought, so I'm spraying it so that it will be less sticky. Okay, I'm gonna put it into the air fryer. Normally I will set it for 200 degrees, and I put over 4 minutes, so that after the 4 minutes I can take a look and see if it is as brown as I wish, or I may want to put it again for another 4 minutes. So total normally it's about 8 minutes, but I would like to see it from time to time is how it is browning, because I never know, it may turn out to be too brown for my liking. So I will do a countdown, and there I've done a speed up of the time so that you don't have to keep watching the time. So it's counting down to 49, and then it will be 0 very soon. I like the air fryer because it is actually very useful too. It's a bit compact and it's easy to clean and wash. Okay, that's 4 minutes up. Let's see what it looks like. It's very hot, so you have to be careful. Okay, there it is. It's still light colored, so I should be able to put it a little bit of egg wash and turn it a bit so that the pastry gets an even browning. So that's the thing about using it about halfway, and then you take it out and you can look at it, add egg wash or turn it around so that you can get a more even burn on the skin. There I'm using the egg wash again, which is really nice, and I'm beginning to smell the nice aroma from the puff pastry, the tuna puff pastry. I'm sure it will be a favorite with the family, especially if they like tuna. I mean, for those who don't like tuna for whatever reasons, you may want to use other ingredients like sardines, for example. But it really depends on you whether you have any particular preferences. So I'm putting it in again for another 4 minutes at another 200 degrees Celsius. So I like to cook it in a way that it makes it a bit, gives me a chance to see it before it becomes maybe too burnt. And it also lets me have a chance to turn the puff pastry around, let it burn both sides evenly, and also I can use the egg wash and make it nice and shiny, spray a bit of oil so that it won't stick to your air fryer. It's going down, countdown again, to 4 minutes, which is total will be 8 minutes. And the wonderful thing about air fryer is that you can open up anytime and it will automatically switch off, so you can actually see how brown or how cooked it is compared to what you like. I think it's very nice color. Now you can't see it because I think there's a bit of reflection. Look at it, isn't it nice? I like the way that the puff pastry burns and it puffs up, so it becomes very flaky and very nice, and it makes the job very simple. I'm afraid that it's a bit too hot, so I'm just making sure that I don't burn it. There it is, 2 pieces. Don't you think it looks lovely? It's so delicious. I'm sure your dad will really appreciate the puff pastry that you made for him. So do enjoy. Have a happy Father's Day.